first Saturday in September is the historical opening day for Kentucky bow season. And this is an over-the-counter tag that you can buy and be able to go hunting if you've got access, obviously, to property or public land. I mean, you always got to read the rules and regulations, but this is a cool hunt for us. For the last several years, I believe this is our 7th trip to Kentucky. We've come over with Salt River Outfitters and hunted here in this area where they've got a lot of cool properties that historically that they lease. And we're hunting for whitetail deer in velvet, and it's hot, but that's this time of the year. The deer are just now coming out of velvet. Some of them are going to be full velvet, some of them will be partial velvet, some of them will be hard antler during this time of the year. And for me this year, we're hunting a pretty cool spot. It's got a lot of shade around it at various times. We're seeing deer at all times of the day on our scouting cameras, and we're going to get up in a hawk stand and just kind of hang our bow. We're going to let the sun go down and see what comes in. And if something comes in that makes our heart rate go up, we're going to draw back and see if we can't put an arrow right through the Bible. That's a fun set. We saw does, we saw some little bucks. I had some other things moving around us that never came out. You don't kill one every time, so that was a good first day. We kind of learned a little bit more about how the deer pattern, how they're moving right here. And we're going to get in as quick as we can, get one out of here, load up in the Yamaha. And we're probably going to have to do a little bit of maintenance on this because I feel like I'm sticking out like a sore thumb a little bit. So day 1's over. Day 2 will start soon. My setup typically changes every year to help field test and practice and look at new products. And this year I'm going to be shooting the Blackout NV3. The last couple of years I've been shooting the Blackout NV32. Both of these bows are high performance bows that perform really, really well. This particular bow is, if you look at it, you know, I've got a Blackout stabilizer. I'm a big fan of stabilizers. I think there's a lot of balance that really helps, you know, people in a lot of different situations, a lot of different hunting deals. I use a wrist strap on all mine. I think that's pretty common for everybody. I hold my bow very loose after I shoot. It's just something I've done. Everybody holds it a little different. I use a drop away rest that I picked up at Bass Pro and Cabela's as well. You know, this is that type of rest that when you let go, it just drops down like that and the arrow goes forward from there. I shoot the Garmin Zero sight. I've shot it since the beginning of these sights being launched. This is you know, one of the later generations, or the newer generations, I guess I should say, that allows you all types of minute adjustments. So when you get this sight out of the box, it's very easy to set up. Now, this isn't what people think it is, that it transmits a dot on the target. Everything is inside of the sight itself. So it really eliminates the need for you to have a rangefinder in most all hunting situations, if not all of them, because you range it, you let the button go right here. This is the range button. You let it go. It drops the pin in the housing based on your bow, your setup for your bow, the speed of your bow, the arrow diameter, and basically what you're looking at doing. It's very unique in the situations that so many people are looking for out in the field. And then finally, I'm shooting a micro diameter arrow for probably the 4th or 5th year now. I'm a big fan of this. I use lighted nocks, and I'm using a blackout gator expandable broadhead for this particular hunt that I'm on. I use fixed broadheads in other hunts, and all of these really set up to dial in exactly for me personally what I like in a bow, what I'm hoping to have in performance in the field. But I'll tell you, even with the best equipment in the world, and I practice a lot because I like to shooting, you still got to control all those emotions out in the field. You got to keep that buck fever under control. You got to hit the same anchor points and make it all happen once you're out in the field. But I know that my equipment is going to perform well when I climb up in a tree stand or climb into a ground blind. I just got to do the rest once I'm out there.
Game plan for today, Wade? So we are going to a new stand. Normally I don't change stands unless it's something that, you know, the wind's changed or we've got intel of another one, but last night we were waiting on this buck and he wasn't going to come in. It wasn't that we spooked him, it wasn't that we did anything wrong. It was a young man, Mark Peterson's nephew Alex. He shot our buck that was our target buck. It wasn't our buck, it was a target, you know, it was a buck that I wanted to get, obviously. That buck showed up at his stand and he put an arrow through him, so he wasn't gonna make it to us for sure. And the coolest thing about it is that's his very first buck with a compound bow. So it's really exciting, really neat for him. Great deer, real wide, a lot of mass, had a cool little kicker coming off of him. So Jeff and I are going to a new spot today. We'll be looking over a big field and we'll see what else comes in. Tonight we're setting up high on a spot here. You got a little bit of wind coming across us. It's 90 degrees. Gonna be comfortable. Jeff's on the camera. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna see what happens. Cross our fingers and be mobile and be optimistic, and we'll see what happens. Sun's getting a little bit low. It's about 8:15. We still got about 15 minutes of shooting line left. We've got a couple of bucks off over here. We've seen some does over there. That little, I think it's a little button buck out there. Been a good set. Anytime you go in, it's a good set. But you can't kill them when you're setting it home. You can see behind me, we've got a big agricultural field. This is a large soybean field, and I've got great memories of this particular location about 3-4 years ago. On this drain and this tree line right there, I took a monster buck in velvet. He came all the way across those soybean fields, and we got a good shot on him recovering. We're back here. Last night, we just didn't really see a lot, so we're kind of moving around, and it's 94 degrees today. We went in and hung a camera stand for Jeff to be able to get up in, get some good footage. And you know, I know there's a lot of deer in this field. I mean, scouting cameras are showing a lot of stuff. It's just, do they come down the drain and the ditch and the little area where you're sitting from and then setting over, and hopefully we'll get lucky. Regardless, this will be a pretty good set and we'll see some deer. A lot of times in bow hunting, we're in such tight quarters, we don't necessarily always take our binoculars, but in a case like this where you got big fields, you can see a long ways. I really use them a lot because I may see a whole new travel corridor over there. You're trying to identify a good deer. It'll really help you out in those types of situations. And I also, you know, I'm looking at him and say, man, that's a good deer. Is he a shooter or not a shooter if he's coming in 100, 200 yards out? But, you know, in some situations when you are using binoculars, inside that 30, 40, 50 yards, all that extra movement can cause you to get busted. So you got to just make a decision every time you go out what tools and what toys you want to bring with you. I like to see long ways though. Sucker. We're back in the field. It's day 4. We're hunting here in Kentucky. Kevin and Scott have had great success knocking down 2 really dandy velvet bucks, which makes this hunt very successful as it is. We've Jeff and I have kind of been on the opposite end of that spectrum. We really haven't had a lot of good opportunities, and had any opportunities actually. But last night we got set up and saw a giant and several other shooter bucks that kind of crossed out in this alfalfa where the alfalfa and soybeans meet. We're gonna go back to the same stand, see if we can't dial it in any better, see if we can't get lucky. Massive weather change, at least right now. It may change again, but we got some clouds, little wind, actually had some sprinkles, and the temperature is maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 degrees cooler. I hope that sticks because it's been 94 every day. It's awesome to go hunting, but boy, it's been hot.
Well, unfortunately, that big buck Wade and Jeff saw earlier failed to make an appearance, and the window to harvest a velvet whitetail is closing. It's the final day for Wade and Jeff here in Kentucky, and they're going all in on a stand that was recently successful.
We're on our 5th spot during this trip to Kentucky. Glasses are all fogged up. We've had a little bit of rain. It's been a great hunt so far in a lot of ways. If you rated this hunt based on encounters, what we've particularly seen, what's been in front of us, you would rate it really low. But I don't always think that that's the most important part about hunting. Do I want to kill one? Absolutely. I always do. I've had great success on a lot of hunts over here in Kentucky in the past, but I don't know, as I get older, and I enjoy a lot of different things around the camp. Once again, do I want to kill one? Absolutely. Will we get one tonight? Who knows? But when you look back at a hunt like this, and you start with the first hunt, and we're up there in the sunset, and we're all excited, we're hunting a deer that's already dead. Our target buck was shot by a kid getting his first buck not far away. Super exciting story. Kevin got his buck the very first night. That's the first time he's ever shot one in velvet. First time he's ever shot a buck in Kentucky. That was a couple nights later, Scott knocked down this really cool deer. I mean, just got like lots of mass, crazy looking brow tines. So he's had great success. Jeff and I, well, we've traveled most of this part of Kentucky. I think we've hunted in 4 different counties and we have burned some miles. That's not work, that's play, that's enjoyable. Then you mix it in with all the things we've done around the camp. We built new grills, we went fishing, we had good times, we watched football, we did all the kind of things that really make a great hunting camp successful. Once again, would I like to kill one tonight? Absolutely. Will I kill one tonight? Who knows? We've moved to the stand that Scott actually had been hunting earlier in his trip, and there was a big 10 point in here, and he just never could get a shot on it. The deer was real dominant around the food source. We decided to come over here after setting up in where we'd been hunting the last 2 nights. I mean, we hadn't even had a deer within 250 yards of us, really. So we decided for our last hunt, we'd hunt this stand and see what happens. And that's hunting. It's not always killing, it's hunting. And when we pack up and leave tomorrow, if I don't get one and I have to take this tag with me, maybe I come back to Kentucky at a later time this year. Or maybe I just wait till next year. But I really want to shoot a velvet buck. I love hunting them in velvet. This is the only window and the only state that I really have a chance to do it. So I think we're probably pushing our chips all in on the velvet buck, and we'll see what happens. Crickets are chirping, flowers singing, and the sun is set. It's been a good hunt all the way around. Got 2 good bucks down on this trip. A lot of good times, fun times with everybody, but boy, when it comes to us, we got a bad rotation, obviously, because we hadn't seen a deer in 4 days within 100 yards. He's on an absolute giant out in that alfalfa field. No way to set up on him. But somebody's gonna love that deer if they ever get him. And after that, it just continued to spiral down and down. That's a, we're gonna close the chapter here in Kentucky, and we're gonna head back to Texas. And we've got several other hunts ahead. This one, good news. Congratulations, Kevin. Congratulations, Scott and Alex and our target buck. But for us, whew, it was a tough one.